Welcome in to Sweaty Time, a pro wrestling, the only podcast on the Marceline Media Empire conglomeration experience that's gonna delve into bit by bit, piece by piece, and sweat by sweat episodes of Lucha Underground. We are all the way up to Season 3, Episode 29, The Hunger Inside. And inside your ear holes, it's me, Sean, hello, and James.
Hello, I messed up. I watched Season 29, Episode 3 of Lucha Underground.
Wow, that's not likely. That they don't go that high.
Went to an alternate universe where seasons are only 4 episodes long.
So it's not that it went longer than normal. The only difference between it's still tragically cut short at Season 4.
Oh, well,
but the metrics are different.
Season 50 it stopped.
Okay, Season 50, right.
So in this episode, what I remember happening, the Cueto Cup's going, and they're like Puma and Dante Fox are going up against each other, and then
that is on the bill tonight.
Dominic gets his shit kicked in.
I cannot wait for sweet Dom. Also, so yes, in the alternate universe, it's the same length. We watched the same episode. It's just different naming conventions of seasons.
And this is the only time it has synced up as flopping the two around.
Okay, great. This could have been a very awkward episode, but it's saved by the power of serendipity. Shouts out to John Cusack.
I don't get that reference whatsoever, and don't explain it to me, you film nerd.
Okay. Yeah, Dominic Mysterio was in this episode, and he's fucking great.
While watching this, because I'm very conscious of spouses who also are into what their artsy spouses are into. Whereas, I go to conventions with Nicole. I help her out there. Nicole is very aware of how a rap song is formulated and, how rhymes are done. Where I say, I think Nicole knows more about producing a rap song than someone who's I'm really into rap music. And I know for a fact that Rey Mysterio's wife knows more about wrestling than most wrestling fans. So, it seems oh, wow, is she really feeling this emotion? And it's no, man, she gets the game. She knows the gimmick. She knows how to do kayfabe properly.
You're saying Ramus, yes.
Is she from a family
of wrestlers? Not that I know of.
Because I always wonder does a daughter of a wrestler end up dating a wrestler?
I mean, famously Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
And Triple H. Yeah. I guess you can say that about a lot of family businesses. And in Mexico, I like how quickly we're getting into this. The difference between wrestling in America and wrestling in Mexico, sort of Lucha Libre is more than wrestling, it is culture. Where I could see that being a little more common of it is culture. A lot of times people, when we have something we have such a vested interest in something to that level. Yeah, the only people we see are other wrestlers or wrestling families. She could be, I don't know, but she handles it great. She is here in the front row, and I like it because Rey Mysterio is not billed tonight. We're jumping ahead a little bit. When we get to the front desk, they're and the Mysterios are here. Rey's beautiful wife, his son Dominic, and Dominic's girlfriend. And it's cool. Rey is not booked on this episode. They're just it looks, for a second, it looks like they just showed up because Rey's I know Rey's not here, but fuck, do you know how hard it is to get Lucha Underground tickets in this city? We had to jump at the first opportunity we got. And it's a great bill, so of course we're still going to come through. It is a phenomenal build. There's 2 more Cueto Cup matches, and then the champion, everyone's favorite, Johnny Mundo, is wrestling Dragon Azteca. Hoo-wee.
Real quick, they met when they were 15, Mysterio and his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, and guess what? She was the older woman. She was 17.
Ooh, Rey?
Rey's dating a cougar.
Robbing the Craftmatic adjustable mattress? Get it?
Yeah, I don't think she was a wrestling family, but was into wrestling.
Okay, neat. Hell yeah. It was probably just like, hey, 15-year-old Rey Mysterio, I see you're wrestling at 15 and I'm 17, so this isn't creepy. Let's go get some malteds together.
I would also like to say they married much later. This is just they met at this age. So that would be like, hey, I'm in high school with this person. Then when I'm 24 years old, we hook back up, like not hook back up, just we reconnect and we're like, hey, let's get married.
Hell yeah. James, do you ever worry about me that I'm already 34, almost 35, and that I haven't
I do
met
worry
anyone
that you're almost 35.
Okay, great.
I just want you to be 36 already, you know?
You know what? That's all I had to ask, really. Everything else boils down to.
Am I worried that you're not going to find love?
Yeah, because I didn't meet someone who had a shared interest of me back when we were children and we could have shared a malted. Like I can't ask a woman out for a malted at 34, almost 36 years of age. I'm pretty sure those shops don't even exist anymore.
I do have two friends that I'm constantly just like, why aren't they in a long-term relationship? It's you and Sam. I'm like, what? What's going on? Especially Sam. I will say, like, Sean, you're a very busy person. So, like, sometimes you might not be making time for other people. You're just focused on yourself right now. Whereas,
that's a nice way of saying I'm not opening myself up to relationships. Thank you for that.
Yeah, there you go. But you're working on yourself, but you can't love others until you can love yourself. I know Sam loves herself. Why can't Sam love other people is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Sam, I have excuses. I'm broken. Pull it together. Yeah, pull it together, Sam. We're all rooting for you.
I mean, is Sam looking... This is stuff Sam talks about on the Rom Complex. I'm not speaking out of term. Sam does say, like,
shouts out to the Rom Complex.
Why can't I just have a husband who lives in another house and just comes over like once a week? I don't want to be burdened by their presence.
Yeah, so, why can't...
Maybe Sam should be working on themselves.
Yeah, or should, go back to like Dick Van Dyke times where they have the 2 bedrooms separated.
Yeah.
But like still some of the best TV chemistry of all time.
Or just finally, they got to just bite the bullet and say, screw it. Sam and Shelby end up together, We've been shipping them for 253 episodes. Make it happen.
Finally, yes. Speaking of ships, let's set sail into those old wild blue yonders of Lucha Underground, Season 3, Episode 29, The Hunger Inside.
Well, speaking of hunger, someone's about to eat, and I'm really upset that it wasn't product placement.
No, it's a big gross of raw meat. Door opens to an attic prison. Specifically, the attic prison we've come to know and love. The attic prison of Dario Cueto and Matanza Cueto.
My father, when he had his own business, it was this like very large building, and it was clearly before either a school or just storage for a school. So you would go upstairs into these offices that they never used from the day they started to the day they ended. And it was just filled with all this like weird school stuff. Sometimes you'd find like a mannequin and you're like, huh? And it's just very scary. But we could have made an attic prison and it would not have seemed out of place in this building.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be excited. And I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
I love that you can share that memory, as horrifying as I find it.
It is horrifying. We were scared of this place.
Just checking. Yeah. Just making sure. I do feel like you can make an attic prison out of most spaces that have an attic. Unless you have an attic that is just like surrounded by windows, like there are no walls, everything is just glass. That would be a rough attic prison. Someone might look up and be like, hey, get that guy out of there. What the fuck? Stop serving him raw meat. Most of the time, though, I feel like an attic prison, it's what you put into it, Like it's not, it's less about finding the perfect space. It's more about creating the perfect space, which is the same reason I'm single. I'm building to create the perfect space. And then I'll serve the woman I love raw meat, the same way Dario does to Matanza in this opening scene.
addict prison. That's a better way to convey our minds, Miss Whitney Cummings, instead of a haunted house or whatever bullshit she said. An addict prison, that's our minds.
I could see you pulling a muscle, stretching for that put down on Whitney Cummings.
I couldn't remember her name. She's not that important to us, you know?
Absolutely not.
Except Two Broke Girls, you know, that's my jam, okay?
Did she create that?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Sorry, it seems like she's I don't care for her outside of that, but all right.
I enjoyed her early stuff, but then she went, you know, kind of wacko. And not in an Animaniacs way. That'd be good.
That'd be phenomenal.
Doing just like slapstick comedy on like Netflix specials. I'd love it.
With like a bad Ringo Starr accent? Absolutely. Instead of going right wing, when comedians start like kind of, you know, fledgling out at the end of their career, they should just start doing wacko impressions.
Yeah. Also, it would, I think, play exactly the same to the exact audience that you're gaining when you're going right wing, because this is clean comedy. You can go to a church, you can go on that circuit and just start playing these clean crowds because you're just an Animaniac.
Yeah, it's also just as nonsensical and benefits from audiences who don't know many things, so they can just go and watch the slapstick and go hee hee and slap their feet together like they're clapping their hands.
Yeah.
Like, you don't... Yeah, I don't know. Animaniacs is good. Fascism is bad.
But imagine Wacko and Dot trying to be a fascist dictator. Oh, I'm pretty sure they did that in an episode.
I'm pretty
sure. I saw some fan fiction that was weird.
Yeah, it sounds like that's like a hidden episode from Formulaic. Like you and Shelby broke a script for Wacko and Dot to become a fascist regime, and it just never made it to pilot.
Maybe.
Yeah. So the door opens to an attic prison.
Yeah.
Dario has a plate of raw meat for his demonically possessed brother, the monster Matanza. We haven't seen Matanza in a little bit now. I think the last time we saw him, he was so fed up of Dario's control, he gave Dario a black eye. His own brother punched him in the eye for not letting him get his win back against Rey Mysterio.
Hey, Dario, suck it the fuck up. Hey, this is the first time your sibling has ever hit you? Well, I guess you did it. You had it pretty good up until now, because my brother would make wooden swords, and you better believe when I got on his nerves, he'd pick up one of those wooden swords and try to beat me with it.
He'd make wooden swords?
Yeah, he'd find like planks, and then he'd like sand down the sword, like the plank, into like a wood thing, and then like put on a hilt, you know, and then he'd hit me with them.
That is so much work.
I mean, it wasn't for the specific purpose of hitting me.
Sure. It's just so much work that I am sort of impressed, but I don't want to be impressed because he's hitting you with the wooden swords. I don't want to be on his side, but I appreciate his work ethic. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I remember we were hanging out at Jamie and Sean's house right across the street from us. And I don't remember what I was doing. No, not you, Sean. Sean spelled another way. And that Sean, he died in a car crash. You did not. So
rest in peace.
I know, rest in peace. Ooh, baby, that survivor's guilt. So we've talked about it on the show. Don't need to get back into it. So
absolutely.
I don't remember what I was doing, but I was really getting on my brother's nerves. And then eventually he just like picked up this and he's like, I'm gonna probably said something like, fuck you, James. And then we were just, I had to dash as I was like laughing so hard as he was chasing me through our suburb streets of just like our cul-de-sac area shit. And I'm just like, man, I need to run like I've never run before, or he will like... Being hit by a wooden sword sucks.
Yeah, being hit by a piece of wood sucks. Like, you can shape it into any shape you'd like, and it's just really bad. But there is nothing... A wooden balloon?
Yeah, that might be okay.
What is a wooden balloon? What?
I mean, like you do like a... cross stitch, like a wicker basket, and then it's a balloon. And that might still sting,
What?
yeah, because that could give you splinters.
Yeah.
If you can make a bowl out of wood, like a cross-stitched, like wicker type style.
James, you see a tree and you think, oh, baby, let me inflate that thing? What are you talking about?
It's the shape of a balloon, and you'd be like, wow, this is a nice art
just
piece.
an oval.
If I
That's
find
an
a
egg.
wooden balloon, if I Google this, and it's like, oh, someone
After
made
the
a wooden
podcast.
balloon, hold on. You keep going
Fine.
with your wrestling bullshit. Well, I
just-
figure out the real stuff.
A balloon shape is just an egg. Just say wooden egg. So yeah, the plate of meat is a metaphor.
There's a string at the bottom. Oh, egg have string at bottom?
Yeah, you can just tie a string to the... That's how you make Easter eggs, you son of a bitch. What the fuck are we doing here? This is a wrestling podcast. Not a woodsmanship. This is not carpentry class.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Not only are there real ones, but it's a big thing that people just make wicker hot air balloons plus the basket.
What the... You people are sick. You people out there are sick. And I can't, from the bottom of my heart, I judge each and every one of you.
I get it now, Sean. I understand why you're single. Because women love wicker baskets. And if this is how you're coming to them when you're like, you see a tree and you think basket? You think crochet?
That was worth popping my microphone. I apologize to you in the edit.
I mean, it's in the edit is just like me clicking podcast bus preset, and then it does that.
Yeah, well, speaking of doing that, Dario is dropping off that plate of meat to his brother in the upstairs prison. The plate of meat, you see, is a metaphor, as Dario suggests that Matanzas become a slave to the hunger of revenge. Yeah?
So has Dario, this dumbass bitch.
Is he, what's his revenge? I think it's just power.
His mom, his dad, which I don't know if we meet his dad in Lucha Underground or MLW, but we do eventually meet his dad.
I don't know. Maybe that's why he killed his mom. I wouldn't give Dario's motives, and it could come from a place of like trauma. I wouldn't give his motives into revenge.
Okay,
all
right.
Or at the very least, not cognizantly. It's one of those things like, like sometimes something happens traumatically and it informs you for other aspects of your life. But you don't realize you're doing something out of revenge or like coming from that place of trauma. You think you're doing it for like whatever reason until you finally like sit down and talk to someone, a therapist, and you're like, oh, damn. Yeah, I thought I wanted the power of the gods, but really I'm just pissed at my dad. So like, sorry, long way to say like, I don't think you're wrong, but I don't think Dario realizes it.
Okay.
Like, I think he's motivated by power, even though that motivation of power could come from a form of revenge.
But
Yeah.
I think it's also of like one-upsmanship because he has mentioned his dad of like, oh, we're going to do this right. My dad like is the reason why Matanzas this way. I'm going to do it right this time.
Yes. And it becomes, again, like, I think there's a curious question of like sort of what came first, the chicken or the egg.
The chicken or the wooden egg.
Shut the fuck up. I can't. I'm gonna... 30.
Hey, do you need any birthday eggs? I can
is
go
that?
to I can
What
go
is
to
a
Dollar
birthday
Tree
egg?
right now. They'll inflate them with some helium, some birthday eggs for you.
You're a sicko. You're sick. You're all sick. What you've done to wood. What you've done to the fine craftsmanship of wood. I'm sickened. So yeah, Dario's got a plate of raw meat.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, he explains like you're obsessed with revenge over Rey Mysterio. Dario tells Matanza he's got the power of a god, but the desires of a man, which is a great dating profile, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Power of a god, the desires of a man. Age, sex, location. Dario fears if Matanza does not...
33.
James, I wasn't being
Man.
serious. Okay.
Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, go Bears. Dario fears if Matanza... Yeah, he needs to overcome these desires. If he fears that if Matanza does not overcome these desires, the other gods will not let him keep his humanity. It's... We haven't gotten a lot of lore regarding the gods in a little bit. And I feel like we get a big punch up top of this episode. Mm-hmm. Specifically, so like going back to Cage's gauntlet. Yes, they kind of they've said it as many times. I've been confused because I grew up super Catholic good boy, monotheistic as fuck. And I forget this, like, you know, who said that there's only one God? What if there's a bunch of them and one of them lives in the glove of a machine named Cage and the other one eats raw meat and is Jeff Cobb, aka Matanza. And that's very interesting. That's like through these rituals, and we, you know, again, through Cage and through Matanza, they can put the power of gods into people, but there is this risk of losing the identity of the person, losing their humanity. And now that it's like, it's not just a risk. If you fuck up, the gods will take that away from you. That's a promise. That's a threat. Mm-hmm. That's a deterrent from bad behavior. We're getting a little godly up in here.
Well, what we should have gotten, as I said, was product placement. Because imagine this. Mm-hmm. Dario enters that room. Oh, wait, what's that on there? Oh, is that gross meat? No.
Raw meat, uncooked, like chunks of raw meat.
It's freshly baked, straight from the oven. Pizza bagel bites, and he says, hey,
that'd be better.
You want to know what can satiate the hunger of a god? Pizza bagel bites. Get you a slice.
They really dropped the ball. What they did here, the metaphor for the hunger and revenge, and even with the metaphor, the raw meat, how it can poison you further. So the metaphor of Dario sort of utilizing Matanza's desire for revenge against him and then criticizing him for it. Like, yeah, it's beautiful and accomplished through this plate of disgusting raw meat chunks, but you missed out on the brand integration.
Yeah.
And we can't allow that. Like, if I see an artistic choice go over a brand integration choice one more time, what country am I even living in anymore? That joke isn't supposed to be as sad.
Well, whatever country you're living in, you can find solace by heading over to apartments.com. Find not just apartments, but houses, condos, etc. It's the easiest website to use. And when you check out, use promo code absolutely not 4206969 penis.
Yeah,
Tamagotchi.
Fuck you, Jeff Goldblum. He's the spokesman for apartments.com.
I know.
Dario.
Everyone knows that. But I'm about to be the second one on podcasts.
Yeah, with 4206969. Dario leaves the raw meat in front of Matanza's cage and leaves with a parting request. Control your hunger or it will destroy us both. Matanza grips up his bar as he reaches for the meat, but instead he just shakes his cage again. And we go to the desk, and we talked about this already. We got a little shot of Dom and Maria, Dom's girlfriend, as well as Ray's wife, and then there's Ray's wife. So there's 3 people there. And they explain in 3 weeks' time, Johnny defends his Lucha Underground title against Rey Mysterio. But tonight, main event, Johnny will take on Ray's pupil and his bestie, El Dragon Azteca Jr. We'll get into that once that happens. But we start off with a quarterfinal cup match. The Cueto Cup quarterfinals, it is Pindar with Cobra Moon versus Phoenix. Pindar, a trios champion alongside his fellow Reptile Tribe members who stole the belts, as well as Phoenix and Aerostar's bestie, Drago.
This is some high school bullshit, you know, when you're like, oh yeah, we're on the track team, we're the best at the relay, and then all of a sudden this other team comes up and is like, hey, we're gonna do some spells on your friend and bring him over to us. Exactly like it was in high school track for me.
I mean, yeah, back then spells were like, we're gonna tell your best friend he's cool and we're gonna give him liquor, and then he's gonna make fun of you behind your back. Like, that was the spell. The spell was, we're gonna laugh at his jokes where he makes fun of you, and then we're just gonna make him popular. That's the greatest magic of all, high school popularity.
Oh, different kind of spells in Muskegon, Michigan. You'd find that one girl who would take roadkill and like take the bones out of the roadkill and then like create spells using that.
Oh, if that was actually happening, that'd be cool. I'd be down with that. If one of my friends came up to me and was like, hey, I met a witch and I'm practicing magic now, so I'm not going to be able to hang out for our weekly Smash Brothers get together, I'd be like, damn, but yeah, you got to learn magic. What can you got to that's your future. You got to look after yourself. Of course. Go learn roadkill magic, I'd say, and I would still say.
One of Nicole's friends did that. And
oh shit!
I
What?
revealed, this is like based on real life. And I said that I brought that up on, I probably engaged with Nicolas Cage, and Nicole goes, how do you know that? I was like, you told me that. How if you had a friend after living together for almost 12 years, if you had a friend in high school who did that and you never told me that, that'd be wild. Of course you revealed those details to me, Nicole.
What if Nicole forgot she revealed those details because that friend used a memory loss spell? I mean, you got to think about that stuff now. No memory loss spells tonight. Phoenix remembers everything that they've taken from him. He's had a bit of a journey, though. Mostly Phoenix, as he's coming out, there's a shot of Rey Mysterio's family in the front row. We see that babyface Dom shouts out to Margie. Phoenix points out Melissa as he's high-fiving everyone. Melissa Santos, the ring announcer, she blows him kisses. They've been flirting for the last couple of weeks, which is really, and it's hopefully her stalker and Phoenix's rival Marty the Moth isn't here to weird things up, because Phoenix has been going through a lot. Yet loses his best friend as well as the tag titles to the dark magic of the Reptile Tribe as they stole Drago away from them. Also, the Cueto Cup is starting. This is a huge tournament, huge implications for everyone's place on the card afterwards. And him and Melissa, they're flirting. They're trying to talk things up. But Marty the Moth and his sister are like terrifying and not magic, but crazy, which is its own kind of magic.
Yeah.
Phoenix has his hand in so much shit right now. And yet he's still able to find time to date. I have no excuse.
Oh, dang.
I have no excuse.
Didn't even think about that. And I bet when he's hanging out with Melissa in kayfabe, he's like, yeah, you could totally make a balloon out of wood.
All right. Now,
so speaking on Melissa.
Yeah, sure.
Stryker goes, oh man, I wish I could find someone who looks at me like Melissa does Phoenix. And then Vam says, I'd look at you like that. It was just like a very cute moment. And my only note for this match.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was your only note?
Yeah, that was my only note.
Okay, yeah. Very cute exchange up top between the two. As the bell rings, it's like Phoenix remembers everything. He comes in very intense. And again, it's a lot. It's the history of the past. It's him balancing his new relationship with the terrifyingly insane moths, as well as, like, this is a big deal. So Phoenix comes in, is very focused Phoenix, as he usually, like, Phoenix comes in with fire a lot of the times, but it's very focused.
Because he's made of it.
He's made of it. But Pindar is a big fucking dude. So Phoenix understands the size difference. He stays elusive in these opening moments. And then it becomes classic Technico versus like disadvantage. How are you going to overcome the size disadvantage? You're going to rely on your technique. You're going to rely on that speed. And Phoenix is really good at utilizing his speed and his elusiveness. It's wild. It's still like, I don't like comparing him to like Rey Mysterio because I think so many people compare luchadors, like every luchador, to Rey Mysterio because he's the most famous luchador in America, arguably. But again, like he's just a huge deal. That being said, like watching Phoenix and then going back and watching like WCW or like early SmackDown Rey Mysterio, just not that he's not still great here and great today, the dude still wrestles, but like a young Rey Mysterio. It's wild. You can see like how much fire and like how much intensity you bring to a style of wrestling that is not direct. It is, it is high flying and it is very flashy. And you still make that feel like it's just, if you can make a Hurricane Rana feel like a punch to the face, that's that's a sort of gift that I don't think a lot of people have. That Phoenix does. And Puma does. We'll see that later tonight.
Phoenix always reminds me of the Phoenix from Monster Rancher 2.
Hell yeah. I don't remember. I'm trying to picture that, and all I can think of is the bird Digimon's second evolutionary form, which I know is not Monster Rancher, but really Digimon, Monster Rancher, Pokemon, Gossip Girls, they're all the same show.
Technically, the bird Digimon's second form is the bird.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you for. I still stand by that. All the Gossip Girls are a Digimon.
If you're not including Egg as an evolutionary stage, as Sean knows,
egg.
he
way
would.
more like a wooden egg. You son of a Fucking wicker balloons my ass.
Don't you mean balloon evolutionary stage?
All right. Nobody can see you adjust your glasses in a condescending manner. Calm down. It's a podcast.
Maybe this is why you can't get a lady, because you're like,
There's
wow,
a lot
man,
of
I can't believe you
reasons.
shed a balloon once a month.
There's Jesus Christ. Can we all disagree?
Balloon is
There's a
egg
lot.
now, and egg is balloon.
All right. Can we all just agree there's a lot of reasons I'm single and move on?
No, I think it's just the wicker basket of it all. Yeah.
You think this is it? This is my great Waterloo. My relationship, my romantic Waterloo is this wicker egg balloon nonsense. I fucking hate it here. I hate it here.
Okay, then leave, okay? Love it or leave it, bitch.
No. Eventually Pindar starts, like, he gets some moves. He gets a handle on Phoenix, but Phoenix is always finding space. He's always finding speed. There's this, oh my gosh. Pindar gives Phoenix too much time in a corner at some point. He escapes a running lizard attack, springboard, spinning back kick. This is when Phoenix goes for the German suplex. So he goes behind him, tries to lift him up by the waist. But, you know, Pindar, he's too big. He's going to, like, widen his base. He's going to, like, find some ground. So Phoenix is like, all right, he widened his base. Phoenix isn't thinking that. He's going to punch him in the back of the head as hard as he can, knock him loopy, and then German suplex. It was one of those, like, you should have German suplex the big man. Oh, you're just going to punch him in the back of the head. Oh, fuck, that worked. Okay, yeah. Normally, I wouldn't advise you to suplex the larger man, but if you're just going to punch him in the back of the head, fucking, oh, yeah, do you.
When in doubt, donkey punch, or in this case, Phoenix punch.
Honestly, yeah, yeah.
When Phoenix dies, he rises from the ashes of a fiery balloon.
Why? Now what? That you had to stretch yourself so hard just to hurt me. Why?
I didn't stretch myself hard. I stretched this morning. I worked out a bunch. Been working out these guns too now, so I can punch you to death, baby.
You would never. You love me.
But if you became a zombie, I'd have to punch you to death.
Hey, thank you though. I don't want to be a zombie. I don't think I want to be a zombie. I think I'd rather get punched to death, unless I was like a zombie with powers like the Crow or not a lot of zombie superheroes.
I would say that's more of a revenant opposed to a zombie.
No, I mean, a revenant has to be is a revenant a ghost though?
Yes, but like you can be physical form as a revenant.
Thank you for getting where I was going. My concern is that, like, I still want a physical body. I want to be able to, like, go to the pinball hall and hit the little flippers on the side. I've never been interested in pinball a day in my life. I don't know why I picture when I die and become a vengeful spirit, that's when I'm like, you know what? Time to get into pinball. Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Epic Games, known for Fortnite and Unreal Tournament these days, or just Unreal Engine, they used to put out banger-ass for the PC pinball games, and man, when you would play an Epic Mega Games pinball, it made your day better.
Hell yeah. Thank you. You know, and it's about time somebody shouts out the little companies like Epic Games.
Well, before they were a little, I'm talking Epic Mega Games when they were doing pinball and Zargon.
Fair enough. Well, how about we
go to the next segment
polls and vote for Hillary Clinton? Well, yeah. We'll finish this one up. Cobra tells Pindar to get up. I love it. Like, because Cobra is managing Pindar. She does a great job, by the way. I don't know if we ever take the time to, like, she's a great wrestler. I think she comes from MMA. Thunder Rosa, a.k.a. Cobra Moon. So she's taking this role now, like, as a manager, essentially, of the reptile tribe, which is, like, more of an acting role than an athletic one, but she does such a good job of it. Like, I know there's one point, Pindar hits something big, and she just kind of gives the, like, you know, the Howard Dean, Pyah! But, like, the arm motion that goes with it, like, Pyah!
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I believe Amir from Jake and Amir does it all the time.
Better reference. So she does Pindar hits a move and she does an Amir from Jake and Amir, and it's perfect. That's the energy. That's how I want to support my friends as well. I just want to, like, pump my arms and go, yes, slam that bird.
Every time you see one of my TikToks, you do that.
Yeah, I'm like, humor. Humor and brand integration.
And James farted into a comic book bag.
That was a conversation off stream.
Well, now you can go see it, guys, at the Chicago Comics on TikTok.
Ooh. So yeah, Cobra is cheering on Pindar. Melissa starts to cheer on Phoenix, and Cobra just gives her the dirtiest look, which is also fair. Melissa, respect the cup. There needs to be some level of bias. Pindar and Phoenix fight in the corner. Phoenix gets on the apron. Pindar climbs to the top rope. Phoenix gives the rising Shote Shoryuken style into a Spanish fly, into double knees, pin, and advances to the semifinals. Phoenix over Pindar, 5 minutes, 19 seconds.
I guess because of how story-wise, I thought Pindar was going to win, but then I realized, story-wise, Phoenix should win. At the end, we got to start figuring out who is taking it.
Yeah. How many of our choices? I'm trying to remember who my choice. I think my choice was Puma.
I think both of ours were Puma because we're like, well, he's going to end up getting that chance, and then it's going to be Ray and him at Ultima Lucha. I'm
not going to lie. I thought Sammy for a while, but he's Mr. Callahan is no longer in the tournament.
That is...
I forgot his name in the show as well, so that's why I said
that's a
Sammy
guy
Callahan.
I don't like the look of him, right?
Jeremiah
Crane.
Thank you. Yes,
I want Jeremiah Krang. Yeah, it's a big robot and a brain inside the tummy, and he still has that, side shaved head.
Mm-hmm. What? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and professional wrestling? They'll never get along. Those two fan bases will never create a Venn diagram. There is a lot of pro wrestling and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans. It's weird how many there are, but I guess the 90s were a big time for a lot of people.
Also, I'm pretty sure in said decade, when they were doing just we can do a Ninja Turtles Star Trek, we can do Ninja Turtles snow gear, whatever. I'm positive, they're dressed, they're just in snow gear.
Gloves that are shaped like Donatello's face.
I'm positive there was a wrestling one.
Oh, no, they're in Lucha Libre. There have definitely been wrestlers dressed up like the Ninja Turtles. I guarantee. I want to say in Mexico. It may have been in Japan. No, but I guarantee you.
I think I was like, should I buy these for Sean? But they're way too expensive. I believe it's just released, so not in the 90s. There are Ninja Turtles professional wrestling ones where they're dressed up as they're professional wrestlers. It doesn't really come. Oh, it comes with a ring, I believe. Finally. Maybe.
Hell yeah. Well, how about we come into Dario's office? As Dario calls in the Worldwide Underground to his office, first thing he does, he asks Jack Evans how the recovery is coming. Jack animatedly mumbles. His jaw being wired shut makes him impossible to understand. So Dario asks what he said, and PJ takes a stab at it. He says, I don't know, he said something about a ventriloquist and his dog had a vasectomy. And he's like, no, I didn't.
Which, of course, the Worldwide Underground wants to give a dog a vasectomy because you still want those strong balls on the dog instead of castrating them to just take off the balls, where it's like, no, because why would you still want the balls to be there?
Yeah. And if it's taking you this long to realize this entire podcast is secretly a pro vasectomy tirade, you haven't been listening clearly.
Yeah.
This has been a vasectomy podcast disguised as a wrestling podcast this whole time. The Batman talk was an illusion.
Since 2016, I've had a vasectomy, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Hell yeah. The matter at hand, not about this podcast. This podcast is about vasectomies. But the matter at hand in the meeting of Dario's office is that Dario's given the Worldwide Underground countless opportunities, which they failed again and again. It took all of them last week to still see PJ lose to Rey Mysterio. Jack's jaw magically heals long enough for him to get out. It was his fault, which is if you're gonna break the kayfabe of a bit to lay the blame on someone else, yeah, be petty. If you're gonna be petty, have fun with it. You know what I mean?
And you can talk and say sentences with your mouth wired shut.
Jack Evans couldn't. It was mumbly as hell for a lot of this, except for that one sentence.
Like right now, I'm not moving my teeth at all. Like you can talk like this. Famously, a bad man made a rap song 15 years ago that it was all done through the wire.
Yeah, but we can't get into shit. If I knew one actor from The Wire, this joke would be decent.
The guy from Community.
Guy from Community. We can't talk about Guy from Community's rap career. We got to get it because Dario is sick of it. He's sick of the Worldwide Underground getting all these opportunities. Hell, they even have the Lucha Underground Championship, and they're still losing. So in tonight's main event match between Johnny and Dragon Azteca, no one can get involved.
Hell yeah.
To make sure no one gets involved, and also to set things back up, we haven't seen the Gift of the Gods title in a little bit now. Dario's bringing that back. Just as a reminder, you win 7 medallions and the Gift of the Gods title belt, which they all fit inside of. And the winner of that has a guaranteed opportunity to challenge for the Lucha Underground Championship.
As long as there's a 1 week interval.
Yes, of course. 1 week to promote the match because Dario Cueto hates Money in the Bank. So 3 of them, Taya, PJ, and Ricky, will each be fighting for one of those medallions next week, as long as they don't get involved in the main event tonight. Woo. Dario gets a verbal confirmation they understand, and he sends them out before we go into another quarterfinal Cueto Cup matchup between Dante Fox and Prince Puma.
DFVPP, baby.
DFVPP, baby. Absolutely. This one, for the first time in a while, is one of the things I kind of like about tournament matches. There's no history between these two. But
they made history on this episode because, boy, oh boy, Dante Fox might be my new favorite wrestler.
It's phenomenal. And something I want to say, because 100% yes, and that was so clean and true what you said. But also, so there's no history between them like the way Phoenix and Pindar had a lot of history. But there is history between them now, thanks to the tournament, in how they got to where they are. Like how they got to the quarterfinals, right? Dante overcame Dragon Azteca Jr. and Son of Havoc in spectacular matches, but with interference in each, right? Worldwide Underground interfered at the end of the Dragon match, and Son of Madness jumps Havoc on his way to the ring.
Yeah.
Like, phenomenal. And like, you go back, you watch those matches, they are beautiful, but Dante Fox had a clear advantage in each. Meanwhile, Puma's tournament has been systematically eliminating the Worldwide Underground.
Oh.
The minions of the champion, Johnny Mundo, yeah. Or, I guess, rather, intern Ricky Mandel and Worldwide Underground member PJ Black. So, like, while they don't have a personal history between them, their history of how they led up to the tournament now becomes their history.
Yeah.
Of Dante Fox, a very skilled wrestler who's had a lot of opportunistic moments that he's taken advantage of, versus Prince Puma, who has been, like, brutally, but making sure that the Worldwide Underground, this villainous sort of gang in the temple, doesn't just bully run the entire tournament.
I really hope this AR Fox, I hope he hangs out in JCW a little bit too.
Same. I'm sure he does. I know he's got a contract with AEW, and hopefully he's being taken care of. Like, that's all I really want.
What the Mac's also there, right? In AEW?
He is, yeah. I still have to watch his he's got the RJ City interviews. Hey EW, which is like a Sunday morning, usually like 15-minute talk show. They're very silly. They're all very good. And apparently this is the episode that really RJ, the host, just breaks. And of course it's with Willie. It's with Mac because Willie Mac is fucking great.
Well, what I'm saying is that also means maybe AR Fox is like, hey, on weekends that I don't have a match, I'm just going to go over to JCW and do some shit. So then I'll be able to see more of him wrestle.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm not watching anything besides stuff for the show.
And Glow.
Yes, and Glow. I don't know if I can watch more Glow. It's so just... It's like you're being waterboarded with one-liners. It's like, God, stop, please.
Now you know how I feel every time I guest host on one of your podcasts. Boom!
That's very insensitive.
I'm sorry.
You know what? Nicole just loves being a wild man, okay?
I do. No, every time I come over, she's dressed up like Chris Pontius and Steve-O. Wait, those were the Wild Boys, excuse me. I just wanted to reference Wild Boys on this podcast once. Fine. I just want once. Let me have this.
I'm pretty sure we've done it before.
The bell rings. Did you write down the first thing Vampiro says in this match? I have it if you don't.
You go. I do have something maybe Stryker said.
So the bell rings. Matt Stryker says, incorrectly, this was gearing up to be a 5-star classic. And Vampiro's, again, the bell has just rung. Vampiro says, yeah, secret societies, don't ask me why I'm bringing it up. First degree, you get homework. Could be memory work, actual physical interaction. And let me tell you something right now about Puma. He is, what the fuck are you talking about? Just like, yeah, this could be a really great match. Yeah, secret societies, don't ask me why I'm bringing it up. But there's Prince Puma, and he goes on, Prince Puma is expressing to me and to everyone else the telltale signs that he is involved in some kind of transition process. And I'm digging it. I'm feeling it. And just as he says, I'm feeling it, Fox dives through the ropes to throw his elbow into Puma's face.
Yeah, it's pretty wild and nuts when it's like, dude, you're self-reporting right now. You are the secret society that is bringing Puma in. Like, what are you doing, sir?
Vampiro is so excited to finally be in this training regimen. I don't think is Vampiro's first secret society, but it's the first time he's in charge of a secret society, and he's just so excited. Like, I can't blame him. He's like a child with a new Pokemon card. Like, I can't blame him for sharing the secret society's secrets. But also, don't share the secret society's secrets.
Yeah, the first secret society he was in was like an alien who had made mannequins be ladies. And then the second one he was in was, I think, just like drugs, a drug trade, I should say, which I'm just talking about the movies he's been in. And then the third one is this.
Beetlejuice 3, which we talked about last week. Beetlejuice 3 will be it's just a Vampiro movie.
Okay, hell yeah, I want it.
And then the fourth one will be this. Yeah. This is a crazy interaction. As we mentioned, like, Fox dives through the ropes, gets that suicida elbow, but Puma, and speaking to that transition of Puma, this dark Puma, he absorbs the blow. He doesn't fall. He doesn't go down. He just like takes that to the chin. And then when Fox goes back inside the ring to do it again, Puma follows, pump kick, sends Fox out of the ring, boom, dives through the ropes, stair side.
Ooh, I always hate it.
So dangerous, and levels Dante Fox. Looks like Fox actually hits his head in the back of the stairs a little bit.
You can see the ref like quickly run over and be like, "Oh shit, do we need to stop this?"
Hey, okay. They don't, and it is dangerous. But I guess that's part of the story is that like Fox doesn't realize, nobody realizes how much more dangerous this Puma is. This I'll say it again. This Michael Myers doing Cirque du Soleil. This is that version of Puma.
This secret society member, Prince Puma.
Yep. Please stop talking about the secret society, but also never stop talking about the secret society. Our best growth is through word of mouth.
Just real quick, I gotta say that Stryker says, "Oh man, this Cueto Cup is being talked about around the world, ellipses. We can only assume because, the release and recording schedule of this, like, I don't even know if season 3 has premiered yet."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're shooting like a year in advance, correct? Something like that?
I think it's like 6 months.
6 months. Okay, yeah. But it probably is. I guess anytime I mention Lucha Underground or it gets brought back up, like, yeah, people are just like immediately, it's like I said, it is the easiest wrestling show for people to get into.
Yeah, besides Glow. I'm kidding.
They go back and forth with these dives, by the way. After that scary dive that wipes out Fox on the stair side, he burns adrenaline. He burns a point of adrenaline to instantly recover and get back into the ring. And this time, Senton Tope, over the top rope just to make sure he takes Puma out. He goes back in the ring. Puma burns another point of adrenaline to do the same thing. Tope moonsault, and then points to the camera, which is going into the story where it's a lot of match for match. Like, whatever you can do, I can do it better. And Puma getting an advantage of it, because I think Puma's been underestimated this whole tournament. People don't appreciate the weird psychosis that Vampiro is giving, is trauma dumping onto this poor, sweet Boyle Heights native, is effective, at least as far as wrestling goes. Mm-hmm. Like, he still needs therapy. Like, therapy would be a much better outcome than whatever Vampiro is doing, but it's getting results.
Again, I'm going to just push back a little. He died and was resurrected. I don't like therapy in this case is a Band-Aid. And
I want to call it a
magic is the actual medicine.
I think magic is the Band-Aid.
No,
because you can
like the thing that happened to me as a kid, like magic might, the thing that I always bleep out, magic might, like, hey, you want to know what? Maybe I forget about it, but it could always resubmerge like it does when I have those night terrors. But I like therapy in real life would be the thing that, like, oh, that is the medicine that's going to, like, help you deal with this and be able to come to grips or, like, resubmerge the memories, not resubmerge, emerge the memories that I'm clearly repressing. But if I were to have been attacked via magic, like even in D&D, when you have like a magical thing happen to you, it's usually magic that is the cure, not just like some herbs and shit.
But I think even in D&D, we go in deeper. Like, you really want it to not happen again? We have to examine all the things that led up to it.
Not happen again? Yeah, it's being in a match with Mil Muertes. I guess that's the thing in therapy of like, hey, just don't go up against him again and don't wind up in a coffin.
But you know you're going to go in a match against Mil Muertes. And in fact, he defeated Mil Muertes in a Grave Consequences match. Like, he already went up against Mil in his specialized match and kicked his fucking ass.
Well, all I am saying,
all this work,
magic is the medicine here. In real life,
disagree.
Therapy is.
Therapy. And we say therapy, like, it's not, I don't want to like advocate solely traditional therapy, right? It can be, it just needs to be some form. It can be just some form of critical inward thought. Like how does that actually make me feel? Like, what are the things that I'm going to carry over from this trauma into other aspects of my life that if I don't take that moment to critically examine will like overwhelm those other areas. Like, cause that's what trauma does. It carries over, those scars carry over things into your life that you might not even realize you're doing unless you do that critical work. And no amount of magic it might save you from Mil Muertes, but will it save you from yourself?
No, the magic will save you from yourself because it is like,
what?
If we even think of Call of Cthulhu, when you have that madness going on, like you can just like wave magic and it's like, yes, that is now, we don't have time to discuss this.
But it comes back every time. The real magic is personal growth.
No, okay, it's like, if you are poisoned and you take an antidote for it, will you be poisoned later on?
Oh, that is deeply not the same thing.
Yes, it is. He just has madness from dying. That's how I'm taking it.
You're a fool, and I shit on your wicker basket.
Oh my God, it's a wicker balloon, you idiot.
You're a moron, and I hate you. I love you so much. This match is very good. 10 out of 10. We don't have time to get into it at all.
Fortnite Spider-Man is loving this in 2 months.
What?
That's the follower that has been listening. Oh, yeah. And he's not going to get to this episode for probably another 2 months.
Shouts out. It's a beautiful match. And yeah, it's going back and forth. And I think it's the first time. Spoilers, Puma does win this after 11 minutes, 4 seconds. He goes classic style, brings back a 630 splash to do it. I think where Dante loses the match is that it's the first time he's had to go head to head with someone who has just as little to lose, like is just as ready to put everything on the line, and there's no disadvantage. There's no opportunistic. Like, Puma's done a great job of isolating himself, so he doesn't have any friends outside of Vampiro, but he also really doesn't have any enemies. Vampiro has mentioned to Puma in a previous episode, his medicine is the championship. He's telling him that's how you're going to heal yourself from this madness, is to become the champion.
Yeah, and the belt has magic in it, I bet.
We specifically spent a long time in that episode agreeing with each other that no, that is a Band-Aid. That the real work to heal the madness needs to be done from inside. You need to do the like Luke Skywalker Temple of Fear or Cave of Fear.
Oh, Cave of Fear. That sounds pretty magical to me. In a world full of space wizards.
It's a deeply fucking therapeutic lesson. That's the entire point that Yoda takes Luke Skywalker. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just being argumentative to be argumentative.
I'm going to see if Cave of Fear is magic.
Yoda, of course it's magic. It's Star Wars.
But the entire
fucking point is that it's therapeutic, you dumb shit. The entire point is that it's magic utilized for therapy. That's the other side of it. Why are you making a difference between the two? You use the magic to do the same sort of work that you need to be doing on your own, which is deep, critical thought on the inner. You fucking moron. Stop this is why there's a male loneliness epidemic, is because fuckers like you are trying to use magic instead of magic and therapy. They should be together. Why am I so heated about it?
You also just said this magical experience is therapeutical, and yes, that's what, but it's just magic. If you cast a spell and that's therapy, then it's magical therapy. But you can't say that it's therapy if it's also magic, and that's all that's happening. It's not like, hey, I'm sitting down on a couch and I'm like thinking about my thoughts.
You are bloviating. It's just magic? No, it's just therapy. Magic therapy is just therapy. You're on the you came up to the point and then you topped the line on the other side. Not that it's just magic, so let's wave our wands at it. No, it's just therapy, so that if you're not a wizard or a warlock or a Jedi Knight, you can still achieve these results by being honest with yourself. That's the real magic.
I don't know if we're just like being argumentative as a bit. I think it's like 90%.
I think we're mad at each other. I'm mad. I'm angry.
I do feel like I'm being gaslit. Right?
You're being gaslit. You're being gaslit. Excuse me? You're here telling me, hey, who needs therapy?
Should I bring Nicole in? Should I bring Nicole in? All right, hold on.
Go ahead. This is off the rails. We really don't have time for this. We really don't have time for this. And this is so deeply off the rails.
Okay, Nicole, come near the microphone.
Oh, hi, Sean.
Okay.
You got a haircut.
Hi, Nicole. Hey, thank you.
If you were to cast magic on someone after like they had died and they got madness in the brain, would you consider that therapy or magical therapy or just magic?
Wait, hold on. What is that? That is not what we've been discussing this whole time.
That's what I thought we've been discussing.
No, we've been discussing whether magic or therapy would be better treatment.
Yes, and magic would be therapy. Magic would be better than just normal therapy. But then you have been saying like, well, magic is the therapy.
No, I'm saying that because Vampiro suggests that he only needs magic, no therapy, and I'm saying you need magic and therapy.
Okay,
you need to utilize your magic and therapy.
Okay, Nicole, if you got wonky brained from dying under like a spell, and then you were to be brought back via magic as well, would only magic be fine to cure that wonkiness in your head? Or do you think you should go to therapy as well?
Therapy does not need to be traditional therapy, just some form of critical inner thought.
I mean, you could do two spells. One to
Nicole,
bring
get the
them
fuck
back
out of
alive,
here.
and one to
Hell
fix
yeah.
their wonky brain.
Hell yeah.
Nicole, get the
He's saying
fuck
get
out
the
of
fuck
here.
out of here. Also, why would you accept this? Like, Nicole and I, in most cases, I think are the same person, so...
That is incorrect.
Oh, no, we're the same person, okay? We pull out our hair...
I don't think Nicole can hear me. Tell her I love her.
I don't have hair.
Oh, yeah, because you've been pulling it out, brother. Nicole, Sean says that he loves you.
Taylor Swift heart.
They're doing Taylor Swift heart
hearts
towards each other. All right. See you, Nicole. Thank you.
Thanks, Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, let me go through my notes from this matchup.
Okay, go ahead. And I'm gonna jump ahead. I think I said most of the things I wanted to say.
I loved when Fox was caught by Puma, I believe, and then he countered it into this cool DDT. That was awesome.
Yeah. On the outside.
I love Dante Fox's version of a 619 where Puma was on the ropes like you would 619. Then he just slid through the ropes, Fox did, and then just straight up kicked him from the other side.
Yeah, real quick, because both of those are like some classic Fox combos. I think, and both of them, like if you're like this match is almost like it's like bomb for bomb, combo for combo. because they both of these guys have some of the most exciting combos in the entire promotion and almost all of wrestling at this time period. And they are just like, it is just like, yeah, it's a Fry Takayama-esque, where it's this famous pride fight, mixed martial arts, where these two guys, like, it was before, they were getting out there. The event is kind of low energy. So these two guys who are scheduled to fight each other, and this is, it's MMA. It's somewhat legitimate. They just kind of look at each other, realize the energy is low, and they're like, hey, let's just punch each other in the head as hard as we can, as many times as we can.
Oh, no.
It becomes this legendary fight for that reason. These guys, and it develops this legendary friendship for years and years to come. But like, it's reminiscent of that, where there's not much in terms of like counter and strategy. It's no, I'm going to throw the hardest shit I have at you. And if you're still standing, I'm going to do it again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just coming off of that Fox combo of like, dive through the ropes, kick to the head. And I think it's a springboard arm, or clothesline or something like that. It's
probably
crazy.
And then I loved how Vamp, who is Puma's mentor during this match, during this time in Lucha Underground, can't help but remain unbiased. Like, he is seeing Dante Fox do what he does, and Vamp's like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Both this match going 11 minutes, and honestly, it could have gone 15. I would have been like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful. But Puma does win. He does eliminate Dante Fox, which means now that Dante Fox is officially eliminated from the tournament, Killshot, the former commander of Dante Fox, the man who Dante Fox came to this temple to terrorize for leaving him behind a POW camp back during the war, Killshot has no problem rushing the ring after Puma leaves to double stomp and beat the shit out of the fallen Fox.
Oh yeah. And I don't know who it was in the crowd, but I had to Google it. I was like, is that where he's from? Someone screams, go back to Tacoma. And I'm like, what? Is that?
It's such a, because I remember that too. And by the way, as Fox and Puma, huge dueling chants the entire time. I feel like where Puma sort of has been, and we talked before, a bit of a Roman Reigns, early Roman Reigns, where it's like, he's so clearly pushed, the audience kind of resented him for that. I feel like this turn of Puma doesn't really have that at all. Mm-hmm. Dark Puma's like, no, but there are dueling chants because Fox is also incredible.
Yeah.
So like yes, Puma, let's go Fox, let's go Puma, Dante Fox, the entire time up until the end, which is crazy. Like, and we're, like, we know because we've been watching weekly that Dante Fox is not necessarily a good guy in his treatment towards Killshot. Killshot's been trying to bury the heat between them for a while now. Like Killshot is the one like, hey, I had to escape. Like, I'm sorry I had to leave. But like there was no point in me staying. I had a moment to escape. I had to at least try, so I did. And Fox not accepting that. Like there is Fox isn't 100% a villain, but like, it's wild so that when after the match Killshot comes out to attack Fox, Killshot's booed. This is the first time in their feud that Killshot is being booed, and some guy's like, yeah, go back to Tacoma.
Which my guess is because Fox just had an amazing match. So it's like, dude, get off the stage. Come on, give him his dues.
And an amazing tournament. As much as like he won through some nefarious means, perhaps, all of his matches were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I love, and this is like, I don't, even though they might not have been expecting it, and I don't know, maybe they were. But as much as like I doubt Killshot was expecting that sort of negative reaction, he leans into it. Yeah. Perfectly. And in a way that doesn't change his character or his motivation. He's like it's one of those like playing the reality of the scene of like of the relationship between these two and their history, and letting the crowd, and not just letting the crowd make their own decision, but then playing into that with again, not giving up your relationship and what the history between them. Killshot takes a seat next to Dante, says one thing. He takes the microphone, says, "You're right, Dante. This isn't over between us." Mic drop as fuck. Mic drop AF.
But what is over is, I guess, like, a criminal investigation on the murder of an elected official?
Yeah, this has been going on for a while. We cut to the police station where Detective Reyes, who was undercover as Veneno, formerly undercover as Castro Cortez. Detective Reyes is going over his match with his captain, Captain Vasquez, the one where he got jobbed and squashed by Cage. Mm-hmm. And she's just kind of like, ooh, the captain says, not your best match. But most people wouldn't fare too well against a god. Reyes denies this. Cage is not a god. He's a machine. She cuts him off. She says like, yeah, well, he's also a murderer, which I didn't really put together, but I'm pretty sure after Cage murders Councilman Delgado, an elected official, I'm pretty sure he goes back to work the next day.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? I think he has his Cueto Cup match the next day.
And what's wild is she's like, hey, I don't care about like bringing him in or whatever. Like, hey, we can't just arrest him because he has what I want to get, which is the gauntlet. And it's not an if or, like you can do both. You want to know why? Because that's the murder weapon. He clamped down on this man's head with the gauntlet. That can be brought in as evidence.
Yeah. You know what? Going back to an argument that I'm not trying to relitigate, I promise I'm not. But maybe it's magic and therapy. Arresting Cage and taking the gauntlet. You can and should do both.
And I'm not trying to argue that point,
Of course, because I love you.
She might be saying this because if it does get put into evidence, then she can't have it.
Oh. See, when you said I'm not trying to argue, I thought you were going to actually argue and that was going to be the game. But no, that was just, I'm sorry, that was a great point. Yeah. I think that's an amazing point. This is probably the first time we're getting some semblance of dirtiness from Captain Vasquez.
I thought you were going to say, and this is the first time we're getting like a good point from you this episode. But next match, baby.
But before we do, I do want to, because we should point out, I say that's the first time we got some dirtiness. We shouldn't be totally surprised. Because Reyes, by the way, says, yeah, good luck taking the gauntlet off of him. That's going to be impossible. And Vasquez, as Reyes leaves, agrees with him as she goes into her desk to pull out her half of the amulet. This is the same amulet that we found out later Katrina has the second half of. It's actually the stone that Katrina's been pulling her magic from. Or we assume she's been pulling her magic from. It seems like that.
These damn stones.
As much as this is the first time we've seen her outwardly maybe suggest something dirtier, stealing the gauntlet as opposed to going through the legal channels, we remember that she has this amulet. She's got it through some way. There are ulterior motives outside of the law for Captain Vasquez. And there has been this entire time.
She probably got it from this funky puzzle box after you open it up. Like some weirdos come out and they're like, hey, here's this stone. And she's like, yes.
Yeah. And then Yami Yugi comes out and he's like, you will play a card game. And she's like, no, I thought this was going to be a Hellraiser. Now it's a Yu-Gi-Oh? Damn. The main event tonight, Johnny Mundo versus El Dragon Azteca Jr.
Is this the first time we get this Welcome to Slamtown song?
I don't think so.
Okay, it might be just the first time we heard it a lot, and I loved it.
It's perfect. My first note is Welcome to Slamtown does not get talked about enough as the greatest song to play when you enter a room. I am deeply Johnny pilled. But like, it's amazing. Yeah, and the chorus is just Welcome to Slamtown.
Guys, have sex to that song, okay?
Yes. Walk into rooms and also have sex to that song. 100%. Could not agree more. Dragon Azteca Jr. was eliminated from the tournament, the Cueto Cup, after Johnny and the Worldwide Underground interfered to attack his mentor, Rey Mysterio. So like Rey Mysterio was ringside watching the match, Worldwide Underground interferes, and that's how Dragon Azteca was eliminated by Dante Fox. So there's an interesting dynamic where Johnny doesn't have. There's a lot of personal animosity from Dragon Azteca. Like there should be. He lost a huge opportunity thanks to Johnny and the Worldwide Underground. Mm-hmm. Johnny absolutely does not care about Dragon Azteca Jr. He cares about Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And we've seen, the weeks of lead up. We know that we've talked about the history, how many times they wrestled in the WWE. And I think they are playing in that. I think Johnny is specifically playing into, I've known Rey Mysterio for a long time and he keeps kicking my ass. I finally went to a new company. I'm the champion. I'm the guy here. And now here comes Rey Mysterio. Fuck that guy. Like, and Johnny's a master manipulator. He does play the puppet strings. So he wants to hurt Dragon Azteca Jr. to get at Rey Mysterio. Ron Funches is here, as are, don't forget, the Mysterios, as well as Eddie Guerrero's biological son, Dominic Mysterio.
It would have been very funny to get to Rey Mysterio. Johnny just like starts beating up Ron Funches.
Yeah, I would have watched. Yeah, honestly, that's some shit Glow would have done, and it's why I need to start watching Glow. Johnny controls this match for the most part. Azteca finally gets a slap across Johnny's cheek, and Johnny spits his gum at him. Azteca then takes an arm, but again, it's mostly it's Johnny in control until he starts talking shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I really liked probably like midway through. The crowd starts chanting something, and Stryker says, "Hey, can you translate that on air?" And Vampiro goes, "They're just calling him a princess."
Yeah, he's like fixing his hair. He's getting himself prettied up, and it's every time like Johnny sort of like talks shit, but it's the stuff that makes Johnny Johnny that Azteca gets a moment, and Vampiro calls this out. I don't know how much to take this into credit. Because Vampiro hates Rey Mysterio. You know, Rey Mysterio kind of stood up for Puma against Vampiro. He doesn't like what he's doing. And during that match, during Dragon Azteca's Cueto Cup match, Vampiro was very much adamant that Rey Mysterio shouldn't be out here. He doesn't agree with his mentorship policies. So I don't know how much to take this like sincerely when Vampiro really goes in and spends most of the match talking about how Dragon Azteca, he's good. This kid is good. But there are just some polishing things that like the experience of Johnny is going to overcome every time.
Yeah.
Dragon Azteca not keeping the pressure on, not going for pinfalls at every opportunity. Just these things where it's like, and again, this is kayfabe, not to the wrestlers themselves, but that Johnny is going to take advantage of the experience, and by the end of the match, it does become sort of inevitable. The amount of advantages Johnny gets just from understanding when and how to strike.
Yeah.
Great match. We're going to sort of jump to the end. Eventually, when Azteca climbs to the top rope and Johnny just pushes him out so he crashes and burns, falls to the mat, and is in perfect place for Johnny's finisher, the corkscrew fin de Mundo, covers and wins another one for Slamtown in 8 minutes and 56 seconds.
Which, to explain like what Johnny is going through at this point when he wins, that we need to just like explain a little bit before this moment, which is Dragon Azteca is getting in a lot of offense. Like it seems like he could win, opposed to Johnny's like, oh, well, this is going to be easy. He's just some like Rey Mysterio's kid sidekick. Who cares? But like you see panic throughout the match in Johnny's face up until like there's still panic at 1, 2, and then once 3 happens, it's instantly a shit-eating grin. He's like, I had it in the bag all along. It's like, no, you didn't, dude. That's what, like, Johnny Mundo is so, like, Johnny TV, whatever you want to call this man, John Morrison, he is so good at just, like, being an actor and showing this, like, this range of emotions to what do you call it when you kind of give stuff to a character, involve the character? No, grow the character, whatever you want to call it.
Sure. Growth is great. I mean, fill out. I almost call
the
it.
Character.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for. So yeah, Johnny's so funny but also is scary. And that's the great thing about him is you're like, oh, he's a bumbling idiot, but also he's someone who knows what he's doing and knows how to brutalize someone.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this sort of I think going back to Dragon and sort of his story in this match, where like he is absolutely getting serious offense and he is threatening the Lucha Underground champion, more than threatening on a couple of occasions. And I think it also goes into both his style and Ray's style, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but this mentorship style, where if there is a hole in his plan, it is that lack of cutthroatedness. Like Dragon Azteca Jr. is skilled, but he's not as dangerous as Johnny. And I think, and that's sort of what keeps coming back to him not keeping the pressure up, not going for these pinfalls. He's skilled. He is doing real shit, and he is hurting Johnny, but he never feels as dangerous as Johnny. And again, I think that's purposeful. I think that is what Ray is teaching him, because there's no goodness in dangerousness. There's no technique in danger, right? It's just it's finding an opportunity and being dirty. And that's not what Ray is teaching him. Maybe I agree with Vampiro. I don't know. Maybe I want Vampiro to abduct me and teach me the ways of the darkness. Who's to say?
You would love that. I
would. You know what else I would love? After the match, Johnny taking a chair to Azteca and just beating him silly. And Vampiro with this gem. Matt's like, Vampiro, what do you have to say about this regarding Johnny beating Dragon with a chair? Vampiro says, when you write a beautiful poem, you got to put a period at the end of the sentence.
Damn.
Whew. Johnny wraps the chair around Azteca's neck. Welcome to Slamtown still plays, which is a very silly song to see Johnny brutalizing another member of the roster too. As Rey Mysterio bolts out of the back to meet Johnny and take him out of the ring before he can break Azteca's neck. Johnny clutches his title. He gets really small in the face of the king, and he waits until he gets halfway up the stairs before posing with his title. And Ray, he picks Azteca up. Johnny's leaving now, so he kisses his wife. He says hello to Dom. Hey, you're Eddie Guerrero's son. It's good to see you. These are jokes for me. As he goes to leave, Johnny, however, did not actually leave. He was watching, waiting for Ray to leave before coming back and saying, hey, what's up, Dom?
You got big.
He did. He says that, and I'm like, damn. I forgot how big Dom was. If you watch WWE and you're familiar with Dominic Mysterio's work today, he's a smaller guy on the roster. He's still a professional wrestler, so he's bigger than you or I. But he's one of the more agile members of the roster. At this time, dude was putting on weight. He looks big. Mm-hmm. He looks good, but he looks big. It's wild to see hunky Dominic Mysterio. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, he's like, he starts off very Hollywood. You look big. It's good to see you. And then out of nowhere, Dom's like, yeah, no, cool to see you too, I guess. Hey, by the way, your dad's a piece of shit. Fuck you, and fuck your mom too. God, I hate you guys so much. He's like, whoa, what? Whoa. And he palms him. Johnny palms Dominic in the face, and that's when Ray finally comes back out. He's like, yo, stop hitting my son, who's really Eddie Guerrero's son. But this joke is not worth it. So Ray bolts out of the back, and the Worldwide Underground intercept him mid-run and just lay the boots to him.
And security's getting involved, trying to keep Dominic and Mundo away from each other. And Mundo goes, he's attacking me. You guys all saw that. And it's like, dude, this man, he knows how to play a shit heel.
Dude, and it's perfect. The Worldwide Underground, they're holding up Rey Mysterio. Johnny's got the belt loaded up. He's gonna smash that thing into Rey's face. And Dominic, he's not contracted. He can't get involved. Security has to hold him back. And so Johnny takes the belt. It's got it locked and loaded. And he does a 180, turns and smashes Dominic in the face instead.
Ooh!
I loved it. And Dominic goes down like a clump of bricks.
And then the rest of the Worldwide Underground sneaks away like Scooby-Doo characters.
Yeah, they do. they as Rey Mysterio cradles his son's battered skull, everybody just vamooses and gets out of there.
But actually Eddie Guerrero's son.
I'm sorry, Eddie Guerrero's son's skull. Thank you so much. After the credits, we get a little bonus this week in the parking lot. Phoenix offers to walk Melissa to her car. She's like, yeah, that'd be nice. And they're making small talk. She's like, you always wear that mask? He's like, only when I fight, And she says, I'm tired. Maybe you should carry me. And so Phoenix bends down to give her the piggyback. And he's like, yeah, maybe I'll drive too. It's very cute.
Uh-huh.
Very sweet. Finally, I think this is probably our first rom-com-y in this show, which is not wrestling should be a little bit of everything. A lot of people say. I can't think of another rom-com-y-esque.
Phoenix and Katrina.
Was that? I guess so.
It was rom, but it wasn't com. Also, I don't know if it was rom either.
I was pulling for them. Hold on, but I was pulling for them. I'd call that rom-commy.
I don't know. That's like a yuppie nightmare, like erotic thriller.
Yeah, most rom-coms.
Okay, all right. I think you need to stop watching your rom-coms on Shudder, baby.
No, I'm watching them with Marty the Moth Martinez, who is hiding behind another parked car. As he watches them piggyback and be very cute into the distance, he mutters to himself, "She won't like you when I take that mask away and she can see how ugly you are." And he stifles a maniacal laughter before disappearing into the night.
I'm pumped to see how this ends of him trying to take that mask off, baby.
Same, and I am pumped to see you guys over maybe at twitch.tv/Goose Von Kaiser, where you can find me. That's right, motherfucker, we're in the plugs.
Hey guys, just head over to patreon.com/MLM where for $5 a month you get exclusive content every single Friday. I think it's going to be a watch along of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze this month, or this week, I should say, because there's a fifth. There's just, I don't know what to do on these fourth Fridays now because Lil Corey's still incapacitated via, changing his meds. He's not incapacitated. He's just like, hey, I don't think I can talk for an hour and a half, but head over there. Also, $10 patrons get all of that plus monthly bonus exclusive content in the form of straight to Patreon. Corwin of This Movie's Gay should be coming over to discuss freshman orientation. And $10 patrons get shout-outs on every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z. The Waz, Orion, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua, Jake, Steve Barnes, A Sweet Child of Time. We are back on that show discussing Season 3 of Wheel of Time. My mother, Lil Corey's BFF and now former roommate Shane, twitch.tv/Corwinning, the aforementioned Corwin. From the Rom Complex as well as Formulaic, a podcast and script writing, it's twitch.tv/R2Shelby2. And from Speed Radio, a podcast in all things Sonic the Hedgehog, it's Tay, aka Zinny D, and I've been James.
And I've been Sean, and this has been Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Purple Prancer forever, be like Bob.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah.